Hello my fellow chairs, welcome back to EU4 Mission Tree Only, the series where we play a nation complete its mission tree in its entirety without expanding outside of that mission tree. Today we are going to be playing the nation of Hungary, a nation that is caught in really between a rock and a hard place. You're surrounded by a ton of powerful nations such as Poland, who typically gets Lithuania, obviously the Ottomans, and also the emperor themselves, Austria. However, Hungary is a extremely powerful nation despite this difficult early game here, with ideas that revolve all around their army and also religion, with cavalry combat ability, recover army morale speed. They also get national unrest, national manpower, discipline, tax production, domestic trade power, and heretic and heathen provinces no longer give any penalties. And the last one being gold depletion chance modifier -20. We also start out with Croatia under a PU. In this mission tree as well, we can enforce a couple of PUs through that mission tree, such as a PU over Poland, Bohemia, and even the nation of Naples. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get into it as Hungary. So perhaps the most important thing as Hungary that we have to deal with at the start here is we have a 0-0-0 interregnum. Basically, our ruler had just died in the crusade for Varna against the Ottomans, and we are left without a ruler, hence why Bohemia is also without a ruler, and also Poland. In terms of rivals, we're just going to rival the nations that rivaled us. It's typically how I like to do things. We're just going to rival Ottomans, Lithuania, and also Poland. And of course, the thing that we are all looking at here is our mission trees. So this is a pretty extensive mission tree for the nation of Hungary. It's not overbearing. I think it has the right amount of missions for this nation. And it gives you plenty of versatility to play as Hungary. And has really set you up for a nation that's going to dominate all of Europe and even go for a world conquest later on. First off, we have to do old alliances, either ally Poland, rival Poland, and we have to have an army equal to or larger than Poland's army, and we get permanent claims on both Moldavia and Wallachia. And we also have fund the monasteries. Basically, we have to build 5 temples, and we just get prestige, stab cost, improve relations, strong economy, get a high enough total income. And some of the other ones like Anatolian Threat, where we have to have at least 3 forts on the Ottoman border. We get permanent claims in the Balkans. And Hungarian Secession, we have to get, well, out of this interregnum thing. And we could get permanent claims on Moravia, Silesia, and Lusatia with Bohemia. And those are the ones that we have to start out with right now. We actually start out with 35% crownlands, which is really nice. Most nations start out with about 30% or a little bit lower. I'm actually going to start out by summoning the Diet and Seizing land, so we're up at 40%. I'm also going to go ahead and hand out some of these things like Religious State, that's fantastic, Clerical Advisory Council, Religious Diplomats, because we are Catholic, and also Clerical Education. As for our nobility, we will hand out Primacy of the Nobility, Increased Levies, Aristocrat Counselors, and one of my favorites is Nobility Officer Rights. As for our burghers, we're just going to do Patronage of the Arts, Commercial Advisory Board. We won't go indebted to the burghers. I don't need to just yet. And we will go ahead and do Promote Burghers Bookkeeping. Let's also start with a couple Orthodox provinces, which obviously we're going to have to deal with a little bit later, but we're going to resolve that as we get through our admin tech and get more missionary strength through technology. As for an economy, we are making about 2 ducats a month, so yeah, we will go ahead, get this tax guy, Diplo Rep guy, and a discipline advisor as well. Let's go ahead and lower that army maintenance so we're making even more money. And as you guys notice, we are gaining inflation at the start. And that's because we actually start out with a gold mine here in Hunt. So yeah, obviously we're going to have to dev that up to at least 11. So we're making buckets of ducats at the early game. As Hungary, we do kind of get our choice of whatever nation we want to ally. I did ally both Brandenburg and Austria. And I am about to ally the Papal State as well. It's going to help me complete an agenda for my estates. But yeah, we're actually a pretty strong nation at the start. We can have about 25,000 troops. And once I make enough money, we're obviously going to go ahead and build up our army and get over our force limit to, you know, get our permanent claims on Moldavia and Wallachia. Alright, I did build up my army, so now I have 22,000 troops. I'm going to be rocking 16 infantry, 6 cav. Again, we have a decent amount of cavalry combat at the start here, and I'm more than likely going to open up with either aristocratic or offensive ideas, so it's going to be really good during that shock phase. And because I built up my army to be the same size, if not bigger than Poland, I can now complete this mission, and me permanent claims on both Moldavia and Wallachia. Next, once we either vassalize or annex Moldavia, we get permanent claims on Poland, basically all southern Poland. And if we do the same thing to Wallachia, we get permanent claims on Serbia. And of course, Poland decided to go with the Jagiellon. They would be stupid not to, especially since I'm playing next to them. Unfortunately, Moldavia also went under Poland, so we're not going to be getting them for free at all. So after waiting around for about 4 years, we finally got ourselves a king, Matthias II von Habsburg, which he is not the same heir as Ladislav. I am okay with that. If we get Ladislav as our heir, that basically means that we are going to have a decision to make between being a PU partner with Austria or being independent, and Austria hates us for a while. Alright, we are going to go ahead and start a war against the Ottomans. We're going to do a humiliate rival one. We're going to call on Austria. We're going to force them to give us war reps, a ton of money, and they also have no manpower, so this is actually a perfect time to kind of weaken them, maybe even break some of their allies away. We also got this awesome event, the Army of Matthias II von Habsburg. Pretty much we could pay a bunch of money and we get the Black Army until the end of the game, which does reduce down our land force limit by 5%, makes our nobles a little bit less influential, but we get this awesome mercenary company that we get access to. Only we get access to them as well, or we could just do the military power. I'm going to go for this top one right here because the Black Army is an awesome mercenary company to have. What makes the Black Army so special is they have their own little discipline pool, and typically they have a really good general as well, and they're pretty cheap. While I'm in this war against the Ottomans, since Austria is doing all the heavy lifting here, I'm going to go ahead and attack Wallachia so I can full annex them since I'm already at war with the Ottomans. And would you look at it, Poland had the same idea. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and hire that. I'm going to hire the Black Army, and I'm going to go ahead and send them to siege on their capital, and I'm going to vassalize Wallachia so it drags me into a defensive war against Poland. And then this way I could call on all my friendos to beat up on the Poles. Which luckily Croatia actually made it to their capital, so I don't even have to worry about this at all. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to go ahead, take war reps from the Ottomans, all their money, which almost 1,000 ducats. And now I'm going to go ahead and vassalize the Wallachians, call me into a defensive war, and now I could call on all my allies to beat up on Poland, and I'm going to snatch Moldavia away from these guys. I could also complete the mission, control Wallachia since they are my vassal, and this does give me permanent claims on all of Serbia, and also this province here from Venice. So let's go ahead and fight our very first battle against the Lithuanians here. And we should be able to win this pretty easily, yep. Especially because Poland and Lithuania are both one whole Miltech behind me. Miltech 4 is freaking huge because it does bump up your morale by a whole half a pip. Alright, we're going to go ahead and give Wallachia all of Moldavia. And we're going to take 200 ducats. And we're immediately going to plunge ourselves into our next war, which will be against the Serbians. I will also call on the Papal State. Might as well use up my favors with them, because I have like 40 with them. I'm also going to go ahead and complete this mission, giving me extra defensiveness and hostile movement in the Moldavia area. And we also get permanent claims on southern Poland. Apparently I completed the mission Hungarian Secession because we made it to 1457. And we have a ruler. So let's go ahead and complete this, get our prestige and permanent claims on Bohemia. So at some point we're going to have to invade them. And once we take over that land, we actually get a Restoration of Union CB on the Bohemians. I'm going to go ahead and white peace out Bosnia because I don't have any claims here just yet. And we are going to go ahead full annex Serbia once we occupy a couple more provinces from them. I'm also the first nation to get Miltech 5, so let's go ahead and do that. And as for our tier 2 government reform, we are just going to go with strengthening noble privileges for the extra manpower. With Serbia under our control, we can now complete the mission Control Serbia, get 100 Diplo power, bunch of fort defense stuff, and permanent claims in Bosnia, Dalmatia, and our subject Croatia, which we will go ahead and invade Herzegovina next, just so that way we get them out of the way. I can also ally both the Mamluks and Muscovy. I think I'm going to ally the Mamluks. They're just going to help me out against the Ottomans quite a bit. And maybe somebody else in Italy like Savoy would be pretty good. Also got an event for a really good level 2 advisor for half cost. So yeah, we're definitely hiring this guy. Our truce with Bosnia is over, so we're going to go ahead and attack them and just simply full annex Bosnia. With 3 forts on the Ottoman border, I could complete the Anatolian threat, giving me permanent claims in Bulgaria, which they will be our next target after I finish annexing all of Bosnia. And Austria is no longer the emperor. In fact, Hesse is now the emperor. That actually works out a little bit better for me because Hesse is not that strong of an emperor, and I can actually use Austria to help me out against Bohemia now. And my ruler is dead. We're going to keep the Black Army. And we actually got a really good ruler. We got a 644 Habsburg. Finally, we can make peace with the Ottomans. We're just going to take all of Bulgaria, which is what we have claims on. Boom. Kicking the Ottomans slowly out of Europe. Let's go ahead, core all this stuff up. And I'm going to go ahead and complete this mission. Secure Bulgaria, which does give us 100 admin, 10 prestige, and perma claims on the Macedonian area right here. For right now, we are just going to go ahead and chill because I am completely out of manpower. My economy is not looking too good right now. And we got some economy missions that we have to do anyways, so now's really the perfect time to do just that. Finally, we could choose our very first idea group, which, as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to go with aristocratic. Tier 3 government reform, we're going to go with expanded royal court. Finally, after embracing Renaissance, I am now a great power. In fact, I am the number 6th great power in the game, just a little bit below Poland. Here comes our very first battle against the Venetians. We're pretty much evenly matched, but yeah, that shock phase is just disgusting. This war with Venice, I'm kicking them out of the Balkans, well, up by Bosnia pretty much. And that does allow me to complete the Control Bosnia mission, but I'm going to hold off on taking this mission because we do get a Restoration of Union CB on Naples. So once I'm ready to do that war, I'll take that CB. And of all the nations, the Ottomans actually allied Castile, who just got beaten up by the French. Oh, that's so annoying. Like, why Castile? Why would you ally the Ottomans? That's so annoying. I can finally complete the mission of strong economy, me construction costs and land forcement for the next 20 years. Next, I have to build 5 temples, or at least own 5 temples, and I should complete this mission, upgrading our great project in Budapest, which is fantastic. This Biblioteca is actually a really nice, great project. You get institution spread, institution embracement cost, and idea cost. Alright, I think it's time we finally invade the HRE. Specifically Bohemia. We're going to attack them for Ostrava over here. In this war with Bohemia, I'm going to take the Silesia area, and I'm going to give Brandenburg one of their cores back. And owning those 5 provinces is enough for me to do the Bohemian borderlands, giving me a Restoration Union CB for the next 25 years. We're not going to do that just yet. We're going to wait, again, somewhere to Naples once I'm ready to take them under a PU. I didn't realize it, but I can also complete the Fund the Monasteries mission, giving me 20 prestige, stab cost, improve relations, and because I completed those 2 missions, strong economy, fund monasteries, and I also have the Renaissance with 50 prestige, I can now complete this, giving me cheaper tech costs, idea costs for the next 20 years, and our Biblioteca actually gets upgraded. From that point on, for this tree, we just have to dev up our capital to be actually a higher dev than both Prague and also Vienna, which isn't that far behind. It's only 5 behind. Alright, dev'd up my capital so we can get Great City of Buda, and we get cheaper dev costs, local trade power, and prestige for the next 20 years. And the final mission in this section of the tree, we have to have at least 7 government reforms and at least 80 crownlands, and we get tax modifier and national manpower for the next 25 years. Not necessarily worth it. Tier 5 government reform, we're just going to go with maintain balance of power, extra diplomat. Alright, we are going to launch our Restoration of Union War on Naples. We're going to call on pretty much everybody aside from Muscovy. Alright, we can finally unify with Naples. We're also going to take some money, and bam! As long as my ruler doesn't die, we'll be okay. Which luckily Naples likes me quite a bit. Alright, with my coalition finally disbanding, I'm going to invade Poland for Halleck's down here on both my allies, Brandenburg and Austria. We outnumber them. We have better tech. We're going to kick their butt. And that's because we have a larger army than them, and I also have more total development than them, just between me, my subjects, Naples, Croatia, Wallachia. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take this right now and check this out. I'm just going to go ahead and white piece them out. I was originally going to take a lot of provinces, but we'll be back in about 5 years. Alright, so because I have 100 army force limit, 4 morale, and I have the best morale of all my neighbors, I could complete Glory to the Black Army. Alright, I launched my Restoration of Union CB on Poland, Lithuania. I did call Muscovy with the promise of land. I don't think this will be that hard of a war because my armies, last time I fought, these guys really just demolished Poland's army. And I'm also going to be taking my tier 5 government reform, my military one, expanding the Black Army. Gonna be more army tradition, more mercenary manpower, and my merc companies no longer cost any army professionalism, and I could actually use them to drill and gain professionalism. And I'm going to force my union over Poland and Lithuania. So that's right, we are now the Hungarian, Poland, Lithuanian Commonwealth. Oh, and Naples. And now, till the end of the game, I get an additional diplomat and max promote culture because I completed the Jagiellon Union mission. And we're going to go ahead and do the Bohemian Borderlands one. And we're going to force our PU over Bohemia now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and force our union over Bohemia. We're going to get a ton of AE. But we don't have to worry about going this way really for a while. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to lose Brandenburg as an ally. I'm fine with that. And we're going to do this mission now. Bohemian Crown. We're going to get 25 prestige. And we're going to get an event in which we could actually join the HRE, which obviously I want to do. That means I could attack anybody in the HRE like Austria, my next target over here, without having to worry about fighting Hesse each and every single time. Okay, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy here. We are actually going to go ahead and invade the Ottomans, who are, as I mentioned earlier, or at least a couple times, allied to Spain. Spain's about 1 mil tech ahead of me. However, I think we could actually 1v1 the Ottomans without having to deal with Spain. We're going to attack them for Uskup, and we're going to call on Papal State and the Mamluks to help us out. And we're just going to try and take all of Macedon away from these guys. Either completely eliminate my Black Army, meaning I gain 20 army tradition, military power, my nobility gets a little bit more influence, or I could make it a government reform, which is exactly what I'm going to do. It'll be mercenary maintenance, discipline, and again, mercenary companies don't cost any army professionalism. And apparently my heir died. I got a better one. It's a 346. I'll take it. Alright, this war with the Ottomans, I'm just going to take Macedonia from them, and I'm going to make them break their alliance with the Spanish. And now I'm going to go ahead and complete the mission, secure Macedon, which now gives me permanent claims on the Thrace area and gives me 10 prestige. I'm also going to start a war against the Venetians. Reason for this is to improve relations with my subjects, and also they're allied to the French, and I feel like I could break a lot of their alliances. I'm not going to be taking any land in this war because I have to take Constantinople and all that stuff in my next war against the Ottomans. Then I get permanent claims over here. So in the meantime, we're just going to make the Venetians break their alliances with everybody. If anything, maybe I'll make them release out some Greek states like Moria and Athens down here as well. I just got one of the best generals I've ever had in EU4, which is a 3555. And that's only possible because I have like 90 army tradition. Alright, I'm going to attack the Ottomans yet again. I'm like 2 or 3 mil-techs ahead of these guys. Gotta take advantage while I still can. In this war with the Ottomans, I'm going to take the entire Thracian area and almost 2,000 ducats. We've officially kicked the Ottomans out of Constantinople. I could do push on the Constantinople and be a bunch of admin, 30 prestige, and for the next 20 years I get prestige, tolerance of heretics, legitimacy, and I also get permanent claims on northern Greece, Morea, Albania, and we get the event the Greeks in Constantinople. So we can either keep it Greek and Orthodox, or it just loses 5 separatism. You know, the Turks may stay because I don't have Greek as an accepted culture. Oh, well, I mean, I could accept Greek as a culture, but I don't like how I'd have to convert it from Orthodox, and it'd probably take a while for that. So we'll just do this one. Tier 6 government reform. We're gonna go with royal decree because we will be getting into age absolutism sooner rather than later. Okay, and apparently I can complete the mission Bulwark of Christianity because I guess the Ottomans actually have less troops than me. So I get missionary strength versus heathens, which is very nice, and AE impact -15 for the next 20 years, which is perfect because we're going to be forcing a PU over Austria very soon. So my queen just died, and I just straight up inherited Croatia. So that's one less subject I have now. Awesome. So I launched a pretty quick war against the Ottomans, and we're officially kicking them completely out of Europe. And we're also going to take 1,000 ducats from them, and that's going to be it. It's going to be our last war against the Ottomans, unless they decide to intervene on behalf of somebody over here. Since I no longer have to fight the Ottomans, I'm also going to abandon the Mamluks. No point in keeping them around. Also, wild Mughals actually appeared, and they're hostile towards me because they want like huge chunks of Europe. Okay, and it's finally time for us to attack Austria. This will call in the Emperor and all the Emperor's allies. Oh, I gotta make sure I break mill access. But why are we going to attack Austria with this conquest CB? Well, we're not going to conquer Austria just yet. You see, for the mission weaken Austria, I need to have a larger army than them, which I already do. However, in order for me to complete this mission, they need to be below 13 provinces. So what I'm going to do is release out the nation of Tyrol and also Bregenz, and that's going to put them under 13 provinces. Let's go ahead and do this war. Okay, so we could go ahead and make peace with Austria. Again, we're just going to release out Tyrol and Bregenz. And now I can complete the mission weaken Austria, which I will do once my truce with them is over in about 11 years. In the meantime, I'm just going to revoke my guarantees on these guys. I don't need to be guaranteeing Tyrol and Bregenz. Also, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and attack the nation of Venice, as Russia would not join, and now's really the best time to go ahead and kick them completely out of the Balkans. I need to conquer all this stuff from them, and then that's pretty much it with our wars with Venice. Let's do this for Durazzo, which is the Albanian province here, and let's do it. Alright, we can make peace with the Venetians, conquer everything that we have claims on over here in the Balkans. We don't get claims on these two provinces for whatever reason, but I'll take this. And pretty much we own the entirety of the Balkans, including Wallachia. Obviously, at some point we're going to integrate them, but as of right now, I'm not really going to worry about it. I like using vassal swarms to basically impose my will upon other nations. Alright, it's time for us to finally take the weaken Austria mission, and we are going to go ahead and immediately attack them. I have good relations with them, apparently. Yeah, whatever, we'll just go ahead and attack them. And yeah, we're going to force them into a PU. Alright, let's go ahead, force our union over Austria. Boom! And now we've completed this portion of the mission tree. We now become an empire, get yearly legitimacy and diplo annexation costs till the end of the game. And that's just because we forced the PU over them. Is pretty much the only thing that's left is the unity in belief. We need 100 religious unity. Obviously, we're in the Age of Reformation, so that's a little bit difficult as a lot of my stuff's being force converted to Protestant. And then I also have to dev up Pizzoni,
to at least 25, and it has to have a university, and we can complete that mission, and a strong government where we just need 80% crownlands, and that's it. That's pretty much the entire mission tree. I was debating about doing these 2 little side missions, but I'm not going to do it because they're not Hungary specific. They're, you know, just the generic 2 missions. And they're just kind of, honestly, they're just kind of out of the way. For our 4th idea group, we're just going to pick up offensive ideas. We're ahead of mill, might as well. Alternatively, I was going to do admin ideas so I could get additional gov cap. But we're not really going to be conquering a lot of things anymore. If anything, I'm going to be integrating my subjects at this point. Which, I mean, I could still do admin paired up with influence. It does give me a little bit of a 15% diplo annexation cost. But realistically, these nations really aren't that bad for annexation. Like Poland, for example, is only going to take me about 15-20 years. So since I got to my final idea here, heretic and heathen provinces do not give any penalties, actually shot me up to 100 religious unity, and I can complete the mission unity and belief. So all I have to do now is complete the university mission, and that is the entire Hungarian mission tree completed. So my ruler just died, and I straight up inherited my subject of Naples, and I'm about to integrate Bohemia. So you know, we're about to look, actually have some pretty nice decent borders over here. Alright, I finally got my crownlands up to 80%, meaning I could complete the mission of strong government, and we need tax and manpower plus 10% for the next 25 years. Finally, I built a university in Pozsony, and I can complete our final mission, this whatever Negizambat University, and that is the entire Hungarian mission tree completed. All I'm going to do now is just integrate both Poland and Austria for my thumbnail, and I'll show you guys kind of what my borders look like after that. The year is 1630, and we have officially integrated Austria, Bohemia, Poland, and Naples. I would do Lithuania, but they're not technically part of the mission tree whatsoever, so I'm not going to integrate them at all. But yeah, this is what our borders look like after we complete the entire mission tree, which the mission tree itself was done in about 1605, 1608, so almost 20 years earlier. And at this point in the game, we are the #1 great power in the game. Next closest being Spain, of course, only 300 dev below us, and next closest one is Russia, which we are actually 1,000 dev over Russia. That's going to conclude it for today's video of mission tree only. Next time we are going to be covering the nation of Brandenburg and Prussia. I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.